PCO and white discharge and menstrual irregularities and menstrual hygiene. This is not a health talk, it's about us. I thought that is much more interesting, and reading about this was extremely interesting, so I thought I should share this with all of you. So, next. Can I? I don't know how many of you can see the screen well enough, but if you have two corners of the screen, on one side you have a whole lot of Indian women who have achieved. I mean, I don't have to tell you the names, all of you would know if you see that. On the other hand, you have this lady working in a farm, in the midst of a field. She also has hopes and aspirations. Not just to cut the grain and go back home and sleep. But have we ever asked her what she wants? The other women who have achieved have actually had opportunities to study in good schools, in good colleges like all of us, and have reached some place. But this woman will sadly end her life at the age of 50 or 60, and that's it. She will be an unsung hero. Next slide. Why is it celebrated? Because it's a focal point in women's rights movements. So, there are movements all over the world which champion women's causes. But somewhere we have to crystallize and get it together and say, today is the day, now is the moment. So let us try and think. It's not a question of just celebration, it's a question of an opportunity to sit and think what is there, what can be done, what can be done better. So this is just an opportunity for all of us, and especially the previous, and especially I think one more. No, I think you've gone too far. Yeah. And especially the most important things that we have to think about are gender equality. We've been hearing about this for years and years. Reproductive rights of women, which is totally ignored. Violence and abuse against women, which is actually becoming more common nowadays than it was, say, 20, 30 years ago. Next. So the theme this year is digital. Digital, digit all. One screen's gone. So while they're getting it, so what happens, over the years we've spoken about equality. Can we mix Tamil and English or, okay, yeah. So we've always spoken about நம்ம எல்லாருக்கும் ஒரே உரிமை வேணும், ஒரே
Dr. Lakshmi ma'am, please come on the dais.
Very good afternoon. Stella Maris team, the students who have gathered here. This year's theme was equity. Women's equity. I think my view on this is very slightly different because I always feel I come from an industry. I work in healthcare, and I come from an industry where there is a female majority, unlike any other industry which is existing today. Why I say so is that 70% of our manpower today in healthcare is actually females. So I come from a female minority industry where we look up to females for delivering exceptional care. And having said that, I always believe, and it's also a UN documentary which says that for any developed or developing nation, it's very important to have a higher female to male ratio. It's very important because wherever you see a higher female ratio, that state or that country or that organization is far more developed or far more progressive in its nature. And that goes without saying that it's very important. In every industry, every walks of our life, we need to promote more females coming forward. And I see that happening only in healthcare at this stage, and there are many more industries which are actually promoting females to come up forward. And I look forward to that, and it's happening in a bigger way. We at healthcare, I think it's one industry which is always surrounded about having more females and promoting them. But of course, I would always say that it's important that we always give them the right platforms within the industry to move forward. And I hope as things move forward, there are many more stars born within this country and things go forward. My favorite topic at this point in time is more for related to ensuring leadership in women coming forward. And one specific area which I always feel is lacking in leadership is nursing. And if you notice, if you come to a hospital, 1/3 of my manpower in a hospital is nurses. And if you see in US, nursing leadership is very high. The reason I'm saying that is that every nurse which recruits into a healthcare system has got almost 32 platforms to grow within an organization to become a leader. But in India, the sad part is that a nurse can maximum become a nursing head, which is 2 or 3 levels of growth in terms of leadership. You can't point out a nurse CEO who has grown in the industry. There is one exception there. I will always say that. 1 or 2. One I know personally. But I've never seen somebody going up to that level. But if I say knowledge-wise today, in healthcare, after doctors, about healthcare, business guy, I don't understand much of science. I understand more of business. But a nurse, probably after a doctor who is in the epitome of healthcare, understands much better how the entire nuances of healthcare works. But a nurse never progresses beyond a certain limit in healthcare. I think that's a sad story of Indian healthcare system at this stage. I, for one, believe, I think the day should come when we have more nurse leaderships coming out of it, and the organization which promotes that will be the organization which stands taller over a period of time, is what my belief is. And I would like to see more people choosing nursing as a profession, which is a dying profession at this stage. I think that's something which is also going down as things go forward. And it was estimated that over the period of next decade, we won't have any great nurses available in India, because that's not a preferred choice of, I would say, preferred career option at this stage. So I urge, right, we need to see every department or every vertical where women are working to have a larger hierarchy towards growth of leadership. And that should happen. I think all of us should take initiative in doing that. The institution should take initiative, developmental programs which can actually develop more women leaders, and that should happen over a period of time, is what my belief is. And I live for a day when I see more people, more leaders, women leaders come up front and lead organizations in much more diverse systems, rather than just looking at a CEO of a Pepsi, or we will become happy about an IMF chief becoming a lady and we all celebrate about it. But that's one far and few. Hopefully that day will come, and I think many of you will become super leaders in the next decade, and we will listen to all of you, how your journey has been. All the best to you. Have a great day ahead. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
3, 2, 1. So this resonating also with MGM's brand color. Thank you so much, Stella Marie Scollier, of thinking of that part.
Wait. Center, look. No. உள்ள போயிடாதீங்க.